say, yeah. I said, they're not, Joey's vehicle's there and they're not answering. So I said, do whatever you got to do to get in the house. Just got a really bad feeling. And we had just pulled up in the parking lot of the prison. And the person got in the door, called him. Joey took a bunch of pills to commit suicide, thinking nobody was home for the weekend. My neighbor called me back, said Joey was not conscious, he was not alert, he couldn't wake up.
Unresponsive, yeah.
Yep, and I said, call 911. And this is what I'm going, if you don't get into the prison at a certain time.
If it's not one, it's the other.
Yeah, and if you're not signed in the prison, you lose that time for visiting. You can't go in at any time.
Mm-hmm.
So here I was and lost the visit to Corey that day.
Mm-hmm.
Because then I had to be on the phone about 911, and then when they were telling me 911 got out there about getting him in treatment, because he couldn't handle the situation any longer either. With bad domino effect. All right, I'm going to look 300 pounds now. Terrible.
That's why I'm sitting behind the camera. I've got 16 layers on.
All right.
I'm not gonna look any cuter than you.
Really?
You're on video. Go.
No.
Okay.
No. Oh, Jesus. I just broke my...
You're not answering questions. Sit down.
I broke my jacket. Sorry. Okay. Back to where we were at the very end of our last chat. We were talking about how it affected Corey now versus when he first went in, and the differences in the world and how it affected him, and also what was happening with UAP.
Well, Corey had some social anxiety when he already got out, and he already didn't have trust and stuff, so we knew it was going to be touch and go with Corey, but we still thought it in the long run it's going to be good. So when he got used to the way things were going to be with UAP and was happy about speaking and the money he was making, how proud he was, you know, we thought, okay, he's on the right track, because we stayed with him a little over a month, and we went to visit, you know, a couple of weeks would pass. We didn't wait too long so that we could have that close contact with him. But also, when this new CEO came in for UAP and he took away the speaking engagements and so forth for Corey, he told him he wanted to draw. Now, Corey's not a professional drawer and or artist, and he drew in prison to pass time, and it would take him, he really don't know how long it would take him to do a drawing, because, you know, he might do a little bit and rest, do a little bit and rest.
One day.
So he really didn't know how much time he would put into a drawing. It could take him months, but you know, he never clocked how much time. So when this guy asked him, look, I just want you to draw something patriotic, something, you know, to deal with our cause, soldiers and stuff. And Corey said, well, I think I can do that. And this guy told him he could draw whatever he wanted. He even told me personally, Corey can draw whatever he wants. Produce 4 pictures a year, as long as he has that drawing on the deadline. He said, I'm happy with that. And they've seen Corey's drawings prior, and the board have been happy with Corey's drawings. He even drew one and they auctioned off at one time. So Corey was happy that, okay, I can do this drawing at my leisure as long as I have it turned in. There's no pressure with other employees and, you know, so forth. So he was okay somewhat with the agreement. He chooses a drawing. He works on it for 2 months. Then the CEO says, well, hey, let me see what you've done so far, what you got going on. Which before, this guy didn't have to see anything until the, you know, the finish is what he said. 2 months in, Corey shows him the drawing, and the CEO says, I don't want that. That's not what I want. I want you to draw this. And he presents him with the type of drawing he wants Corey to do. But on top of that, he wants him to put this new soldier that they're supporting face in that drawing. Corey cannot do portraits, and he could not do the type of detail that was in this particular drawing that he wanted. He didn't know how to do that. So Corey was frantic, and he called me, and he told me, Mom, I've got to do this drawing. I don't know how to do it. He didn't like the drawing I did. He's changed it. So Corey has 1 month before the deadline, because when this guy gave him a new drawing, he didn't add any extra time or start the time over. So Corey could not get this drawing completed. So the guy decides to just stop his pay altogether until the drawing is presented, then resume his pay. Well, where does that leave Corey? That puts him in a panic state of his rent. Am I going to have a roof over my head? He has no family there. What am I going to do about the bills that I have to pay? And, you know, so he's thrown into another whirlwind like a washing machine, you know, of these emotions of what to do. Not to mention, him and the CEO does not see eye to eye on things anymore, and the communication's broken because of how this guy has treated him. And after talking to this guy for 2 hours about Corey and UAP and the situation, I felt this guy did not belong running this company. And so that brings me to Corey's mental state when you said he got out. Mm-hmm. Even though he felt, when you have somebody suffering from depression and PTSD, and you put all these things together and medication changes, and Corey was on medication for years in prison, and then they put him out, and then he has this withdrawal state because he doesn't have the medication he's been on for years with his back and so forth. So you have all these things that are just tormenting Corey and trying to explain until the beginning of the year. Corey came to visit me, and he tried to commit suicide.
Can you tell me what happened?
And yeah, he come here, he was happy, but you could see something was not right. You know, he put on that smile like the commercial you see where they got this little smile on a piece of paper hanging up, but behind it, they're not that right. And you could tell that was what was going on with Corey. Now, I've dealt with Corey's emotions constantly, but we did not suspect anything. Corey went out to the movies. He came back. It was about 10 o'clock. When he got back, we talked a few minutes. I said, I love you. I'm going to go to bed. We're getting up early. We had a day planned. He said, yeah, I'm going to get ready to go to bed too. He went to bed, and I think about an hour later I got up to get something to drink. And so it's about 11:30. And I heard some gurgling, snoring, and I thought, wow, Corey's finally went to sleep early. And he must be sleeping hard because he had this tremendous loud noise. And so I peeked in and I saw him, and he was laying on the bed, but one leg was off. And I thought, okay, he'll pick his leg up. You know, he was in that position. He was just on his back. One leg was hanging off the bed and one was on. So I shut the curtain, which you've seen how the room is set up, and I went to bed. So the next morning I got up at 7 o'clock and I called my mom. They were due to come over. And I was talking to her, and I said, Corey wanted some chocolate chip cookies, so I'm going to make him some cookies, and then I'm going to get a shower. And I said, Mom, and I pulled the curtain a little bit. I couldn't see in there. And I said, listen to him. Listen how loud he is. And I said, he must be really sleeping hard. He's been like that. And so I went about my thing. I made cookies, and I went and got a shower. And I hung up from Mom, and she said, I'll see you soon. So when I got out of the shower, I had a towel around my head, towel around my body. I peeked open the window, and I said, Corey, time to get up. You know, Granny's going to be coming over. And I noticed he was in the same position. So I pulled the curtain all the way back where the light would go in. Then I flipped on the light. Corey was white as a ghost. I've never seen that color white before. He had foam coming out of his mouth. His head was to the side. He had vomited all over. He had urinated. He had no control over his body function. I touched his leg and said, Corey, get up. He didn't move. And he was cold as ice. I thought he was dead. I couldn't cry. I couldn't scream. And I don't know why I did this, but I reached over to the phone and I picked it up and I said, I called my son, my mom's house. He answered. I said, get here. I think Corey overdosed, and hung up. Then my husband comes out. He says, you need to call 911. And I thought I was going to wake Corey up. I immediately set him up in a sitting position. I was trying to hold him. He was dead weight, very heavy like that. He was soaking wet. I pulled his shirt off. My husband comes in. He says, you got to call 911. And for some reason, I don't know why, I thought I'd wake him up and everything would be okay. I didn't want to call 911 because then I said Corey's going to go to jail. That would put him in jail again. And after the second time, my husband said, you got to call 911 or your son's going to die, our son's going to die. He called 911. I was holding Corey up. I pulled his shirt off with one hand. I'm still in a towel and everything. I'm trying to wipe out his mouth from everything. I tried to pry his mouth open. I couldn't get it open. I'm still holding him. My son and mom live 32 miles away. They made it here before the sheriff and the paramedic. So they had to get in that car. They drove as fast as they could here. They got here. As soon as Joseph got here, he also tried to clear Corey's mouth. He's unconscious. He pries his mouth open and he pulls out a fentanyl patch. A fentanyl patch was in the towel that I wiped his mouth with and I didn't know it. So there's one, 80 milligrams. Joey pulls out another one, 80 milligrams. Corey put them in his mouth to dissolve faster and have the effect. When Joey come in, I said, Joey, can you hold him up? We were trying to stop him from choking. And Joey's still trying to clean his mouth out. Corey's teeth were so clean, but Joey managed to pry them open. He got that out. He kept wiping his mouth out and clearing his airway. He was still making that noise. He was holding him up. I said, the paramedics wasn't here. We called 3 times. Said, where are you? Where the hell are you? My son is going to die. Oh, I know there's a paramedic 3 miles up the street. Where are you? Why aren't you here, man? We're coming. What's going on? I said, I think my son overdosed. And I was yelling at the lady. Come to find out, they're coming all the way from the city of Orangeburg. I asked Joey, please hold him. I didn't want to leave, but I wanted to run grab some clothes because when they got here, I was going with them. And then 15 minutes later, the sheriff got here. And all he did was look around what happened. I said, I think he's to die. He said he thinks about it every day. So it was minute by minute. If I didn't reach him on the phone, I was paranoid. He's had the police called twice because people were worried about him, the way he was talking on Facebook about it being over and giving up. He's so on the brink. He's been good the last couple days he's been here, but you can still see when he's alone that he's hurting inside. And I thought, you have nothing else in North Carolina. You have no family. The job is not there anymore. The people aren't there anymore that you felt come home. But there's things that we got to do to bring him home. So I'm asking people to help. Share this video. Stand up for the people that you love. Never give up when they don't want your help, especially if they're suffering from mental illness and the traumas that they might have been through. I want to bring Corey home, and I don't want to bring him home in a casket. I want to bring him where he's been taken away for so long. 12 years I've been missing him. I can't even travel to North Carolina the way that I want to see him. And I want to get him home, so please share this video. Please join my fundraiser if you've seen it, to help bring Corey home, to help him feel safe and secure, and put him on the road to recovery. I'm sorry. Just share.